Now David can sign.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. This will be our January 3rd, 2017 regular town council meeting. If I could get a roll call, please.
Morris.
Yes.
Cole.
Here.
Edwards. Here. Lee.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Passanello.
Present.
Aiken.
Here. Great. All right. We have the privilege of having Dr. Stewart that will be giving our invocation tonight. I don't see him, but Mr. Morse, would you mind filling in for Dr. Stewart and give our invocation? If we could all stand, please.
Hey, let's pray. Father, we thank you for the privilege that we have in a society that's free to come together to give you praise and to make decisions on behalf of the citizens. And Father, we pray for wisdom. We ask you to protect our small town and the neighbors that surround our town. And Father, we ask for protection for our police department. We pray for our new chief, and we thank you for the privilege that we've had to recruit and bring on board such a qualified person. Thank you for the men that serve with him, and thank you for their continuous hard work. And Father, we do remember those who sacrifice for our country. Thank you for the freedom that we enjoy. And Lord, we look forward for what you have in store. Give us wisdom as we make decisions. And thank you again for allowing us with the privilege to be a part of a community. And thank you for the way how we're able to join hands together, disagree when we need to disagree, but united when it serves the public. We love you and thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. If we could all continue to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. Thank you all. We're going to switch our agenda up just a little bit here. We're going to take item with no objection, 7A, and move it to 4A, which will be before citizens' time. And at this time, I'd like to go up to the podium and hopefully have a good mic here and do the swearing in of our new chief of police. There we go. Test 1, 2. It doesn't give you very much movement here. Let's see. So we got a camera up here. Yep. That'll be good. So, Kevin, there again. Welcome. Thank you so much. If you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Kevin Lands,
I, Kevin Lands,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia
and the laws and the ordinances of the town of Haymarket.
and the laws and the ordinances of the town of Haymarket.
I will obey the rules and regulations of the Department of Police
I will obey the rules and regulations of the Department of Police
of the town of Haymarket.
of the town of Haymarket.
I will discharge the duties of my office of the Chief of Police
I will discharge my duties of my office of the Chief of Police
according to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God.
according to my best knowledge and ability, so help me God.
Great. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Council, come on, get a picture with him. Oh, yes, we are.
I got up.
Hey, David, can we get a picture with the chief?
Sure, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Do it in the middle.
Yeah, I know. I got to give him this. I only get this for a few minutes, but whatever you do.
I just want to ensure you hand it over.
Yeah, I know. He's like, hey, where's my badge? Yeah. There you go, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So let's go up here to the center.
You want me up front, right? I can't hide in the back.
So who's going to go first and where? Denise. So we're at Denise and just tell us count down.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, our next item on our agenda is our citizens' time. This will be the opportunity for our citizens to come up and speak at the podium. And if you could just give your name and address for the record, if anyone would like to speak. Yeah, don't be bashful. Anybody? Okay, we'll go ahead and close citizens' time at this time. Our next item, it will be our minutes, and I believe we're going to pull our September 8th minutes out of the packet here and take them over to our next meeting. So we'll be voting on October the 3rd through the December 15th. We could take them all in, or in part.
I have just one correction to discuss with you, needs just a typo
Okay,
issue, so she already has it, it's nothing.
okay. And just for the record, that would be on which minutes?
On November 7th, I think the autocorrect feature changed 2 words to 2 here.
Yep. There we go. Okay. So I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from October 3rd, 2016, October 28th, 2016, the corrected minutes from November 7th, 2016, the minutes from November 22nd, 2016, December 9th, 2016, December 12th, 2016, and December 15th, 2016.
Second.
Motion been second. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Abstained? Motion was unanimous. All right. Our next item is our department reports. We have our police department report. Chief, would you like to go up to the podium and
Good evening, council. How are you?
Good evening, sir.
You have the paperwork. I wasn't here for this, so I'm not familiar with a lot of the incidents that happened, but you can see how several of them happened. The first one, the possession of marijuana, that was Jason Davis, your officer, Jason Davis. He did this great job on his behalf on that. And the vehicle tampering on Tuesday the 1st, Sergeant Shaver took that report. Do you have an update on that at all?
We're just pending court now. All the charges have been filed.
Then you had some reckless driving. I want to point out the speed there. Sergeant Shaver was on 66 and picked up a vehicle at 115. So that's why that's on there. It was a very high speed. He took care of that problem, and then we had a domestic dispute with the destruction of property. And you can see the crashes and the summons data up until this date. And then on the back, Chief Noble pointed out that he participated in the coffee and conversation gathering on the 21st. And then, of course, the body-worn cameras that we just got with the grant are in service now. All the officers are wearing them. We'll have a few issues here and there when they first get them to make sure they activate it on each stop. 23 years of doing it one way or however long they've been officers, this is a new learned behavior that they'll get. But we'll get there on that. They're a great tool. I've had them in both departments that I've been the chief in for 8 years now, and I find that they save officers from complaints more than it hurts an officer. But you also know that when an officer hits that button, they know they're being recorded, so they act appropriately as well. So that's it. A couple things I did want to point out. An update on Officer O'Neill and when he got hit out here a week ago. Almost 2 weeks ago. He has a doctor's, he's out until the 6th of January. He's got a doctor's note until then. To Mr. O'Neill's credit, he has been progressing very fast. He was at my first meeting that I had with all the guys on Friday, even though he was hurting. He's a dedicated officer. He's going to hopefully be released on the 6th. That's up to his doctor, but that's his plan. If not, we'll continue to cover the shifts until then. We did a shop with a cop. Officer Jake Davis and Sergeant Shaver did that this month. I just wanted to point that out. Those are good things. These are things that we will expand on as far as being part of the community. I plan on us getting involved in every aspect. So I just wanted to point out those things. They also assisted the fire department with names of children that the fire department was able to buy presents for. So your officers are working hard for your town. They're dedicated. I would like to thank the 4 of them for showing up here tonight. It shows some unity that I think you'll see increase a lot within this department. We're already a pretty tight group. We started a group text that we go crazy with all night long, and probably bugs the part-time guy a little more. He never comes in on it. I would like to recognize him. If you've seen any of the reports, he has picked up a lot of hours in some shortages. He's working tonight for Officer Jason Davis, who broke his tooth over at Foster's Grill Thursday night when we were eating together, and he had to have some surgery on that today. And again, Randy is picking up the slack on that. So your officers are working hard for your town. I want you to know I'm really proud of them. I'm proud to know them, and I look forward to this opportunity.
Good.
So, does anyone have any questions of me?
I do want to add something for Officer O'Neill that probably our council was not aware of, but for Thanksgiving, his family got together and provided food that took out to Western District Station for Prince William County Police Department for all the officers in the state that were on duty. He not only did it for Thanksgiving, he also did it for Christmas Day, which we sincerely appreciate that. Yep.
I have a couple
Yes,
things.
sir.
Just for the record, I wanted to welcome you to the town of Haymarket. Because I wasn't here for the vote, I was out of town, and I surely would have voted yes. Number two, as far as the reporting goes, as far as I'm concerned, I'll speak for myself right now, whatever you want to do with that reporting, however you want to arrange it, organize it, have at it, and we'll follow your lead on that. And so I wanted to thank you for that. Perhaps maybe since we have a little bit larger audience this evening and you have a plan, obviously you interviewed very well. And maybe you could just give us a couple of minutes for the audience and those who are maybe watching what your intention is for our town and how to take it forward.
Sure, no problem.
That'd be great.
Again, my name is Kevin Lands. I've got 23 years of law enforcement experience. I've been the chief of 2 other departments, and this one 4 years in each department. I'm currently the chief until the 19th of Halifax, and then I'm going to be here full time. I will be bouncing back and forth between the two for the next couple of weeks. I am a huge community policing promoter. Back in the day when I started in a big city, it was the police against the citizens. They didn't like us, we didn't like them. We policed our citizens. That's what we did. And as you're a younger officer, sometimes that's ingrained in you from other officers, and that's the completely wrong sense and way to take. As you get a little higher in the ranks, you see how making community contacts is the way to go. So that's what I do, and especially in small towns, you don't have to be policing your citizens. You can be police for your citizens in smaller towns. Not a lot of crime. That allows us to serve you in a capacity that makes you feel safe and be proud of your police department. So that's what I'm going to do here. I am open to any community suggestions of programs that we can do. If you're at all on the internet, you probably saw the ice cream video stops. That was me. That we instituted that. We do business check cards at night so businesses know that the officers were there. You can see the cards in the morning when you open your businesses. It won't be every business every night. That'd be a lot of money in business cards. But it'll be 5 businesses a night or more that my officers will hit with the cards. So they hit every one every night. There's a lot of things that these officers do, just my short time of knowing them, that you don't know and isn't highlighted a lot. That will be my focus. I am a PR machine for my town and my police department. So any community contacts, any community programs that you have that you want me to look at, feel free to come talk to me. We'll institute anything. I want my guys to be in this town in every aspect. I want them. I tell my guys, I want you to own your town. So when you roll through these streets, I want you to know that Mrs. Smith hadn't been seen in 3 days, and that's unusual, so let's go check on her. That vehicle right there is the best spot. I haven't seen that truck before. Let's go talk and see where that is. I want the officers of this town to own it. You have a good group here. They are just fiending for some strong, get out there and get it leadership, and I'm here to do that. I'll be out here all the time with the guys. So that's my plan, to be out in the community every chance I can get.
Great.
Thank
you. Yep. Other questions for new chief? No one? Great. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's switch things up just a little bit more around here. Since we do have some visitors here in our audience, I'd like to move, with no objection, to 7B up in front of 6B. And so with that, as I think we all know, we've had a couple requests over the last couple months that we've kind of either pushed off to the next month or depending on what was going on. But as of to date, we believe we have now 3 requests for special funding that, as the council remembers, back probably a year plus ago, we looked at this with one particular organization that came to us, and we realized that we didn't have a spending policy to be able to do this. So we adopted a policy. We adopted amount in our budget to be able to help out certain organizations that have come to the town. So with that,
I would like to make a motion to approve funding for $500 each to the Tyler Elementary School robotics, the Ronald Wilson Reagan Middle School archery, is that right?
archery.
STEM? STEM, I'm sorry. STEM, the Ronald Wilson Reagan Middle School, that's archery, and the Battlefield High School robotics. I got those 2 switched.
I second the motion.
Okay, discussion on the motion.
I got a question.
Sure.
When I was on council before, when we voted appropriations, we identified the budget line item it came from. Do we have to
Good
put
point.
that in the motion?
There is a line item.
There is a line.
Yeah, there is a line on. Yeah,
There's a line item in, under admin that's called discretionary fund.
maybe if you,
But since you opened it up, I'll say a few things. And since it's after Christmas, I guess I can play Grinch a little bit. I just want to remind everybody that we're at a $51,000 deficit at this point. My recommendation would be, and I don't want to disappoint anybody in the audience because I think all of you guys have some really good things that you're working on, and they're very worthy causes. My only opinion is that we really should think about going through our mid-year review before we decide on this. But if the council wants to go forward with the vote, that's fine. I will vote no, but I'll support the decision.
any other discussion on the motion? Okay. Denise, could I have a roll call vote, please?
Morris.
Yes.
Cole.
Yes.
Edwards.
Yes.
Lee.
Yes.
Passanello.
Unfortunately, no.
Aiken.
Yes.
Okay. So as our young listening audience heard, this is our democracy of being able to share our opinions, but yet vote. And the motion did carry, so each one of the schools will be getting the $500. We want to thank you all for coming out. Absolutely. Okay. Our next item on our agenda is our engineer's report. That's on page 116. If there's anything that we can, Holly is not going to be here tonight, but if we have any questions, we could forward those to Kimberly. Yep. Or Susanna. Yeah, correct. Yep.
If Holly and Sue, some of your dates are last year
Yeah.
for things to be completed, so it's just a, auto finish of what Excel does. So you may want to go back and check some of those.
Could be a typo.
No. Well, for instance, the Sheets final site plan was done February 6, 2016. Yeah. Right, it just, yeah. Yeah, probably so. Just, you just want to look, because I found about 6 or 7 that are similar.
Any other comments for our engineers report?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Holly personally for requesting funding for the quiet zone for some of the engineering improvements. So could you please convey that, Kimberly? Thank you.
Okay.
Well, she,
Anything else? Then we'll go ahead and move on to our next report, our town planners report. Susanna Smith? Sure, absolutely. We'll go to camera B.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I want to wish you a happy New Year. Hope everyone is ready to dive right into zoning ordinance update. I've had some information from the Planning Commission Chairman that they are very interested in holding a joint public hearing with the council, at least, at the first public hearing, I'm assuming that would be. Of course, they are going to be receiving the final updated draft, which takes into account the citizen comments that we've received, as well as comments from staff, the town engineer, the attorney, and the Planning Commission. They'll be receiving that on the first meeting in February, which I believe is the February the 2nd meeting, I think, could be. Anyway, the first Wednesday in February. And they will be ready to act on it soon after that. And so just, I guess there'll be some coordination between the town council and the planning commission about when that joint public hearing might be held. Of course, this public hearing needs to be advertised in the newspaper. Probably want to post a sign at town hall, on the website, Facebook page, et cetera, so that the public is well aware that this is something that we're doing. Something else we're going to need to do is to identify the properties that will be affected by the zoning map changes. There probably won't be very many, but there could be some, and those property owners actually do need to be notified individually and given an opportunity to voice their opinion about that. There are some items here that, of course, they're done. The last work on, so they're done by now. Of course, the Foster's Grill, the Signature Companies, St. Paul's Episcopal. Can you all hear me? Because I feel like there's a funny echo. Those things were completed and passed on through or not. We do have quite a few applications either in process, like they're getting us all the materials so they could have a completed application, or we've received them for February and possibly into March. So it does look like it's actually going to be a very busy spring for public review items, along with, of course, that zoning ordinance update. It could be, I'm assuming you all are going to get used to seeing me, I don't know. But do you have any questions about specific projects that maybe were on the task list or maybe weren't just because they're not, on the radar really?
Yes. Across the street, I think.
Oh, yes.
As
Well,
you know,
we will be meeting with the attorney and their team for Mr. Smith. I believe it's next Wednesday, not tomorrow, but next Wednesday. The interesting thing is their period for appeal is up on the 7th. I don't think I do have some things in my chair, but I don't think that there's an appeal on my chair. So it's fast coming. If they don't appeal by the 7th, then, and with that in mind, I need BZA members because if they appeal, it would go to the BZA.
right. So after the 7th, the 8th.
As of the 8th, they do not have the right to appeal the decision. It's done, and they must comply or be fined or whatever the town chooses to take it to the next step. I mean, there's a process in the ordinance,
Okay.
for that.
All right.
Is there any update on the fence issue up at Food Lion?
And I don't think so. I've had someone called not too long ago asking me where it stood, and so that was the first time I dove into it because I didn't really know about it until then. But I don't think I have anything new on that. But maybe we'll be getting something soon.
Okay,
Possibly.
thank you.
Anything else for Susanna?
What type of modifications were they wanting to make to that cell phone tower? Is there anything No, nothing in regards to height or anything, correct?
No, not in regards to height. The question was, did they have everything to us so that we could approve it?
Okay.
And there are two applicants doing work on the tower, and they weren't talking to each other. One of the things that's required was a structural analysis for the tower. They were actually redoing some structural features on the tower. And so I actually believe I did get the rest of what I needed right before we were closed last week. So I'll be looking at that in the morning. Hopefully I have everything I need and it'll be a smooth process.
Awesome.
That's my hope.
No further questions.
Yes.
Susanna, could you update the council on the John Marshall Commons,
Oh, yeah.
Planning Commission staff comments, please?
Yes, Kimberly. We did provide staff comments and comments from the Planning Commission on the John Marshall Commons development, which is just outside our borders to the east. It is going to be something of a gateway into our town. And, based on our analysis, the feedback from Planning Commission and also the Architectural Review Board was able to give us a little bit of after I talked with the county planner, it came to, and this wasn't something that we knew when they brought it to you, but they apparently were of the mind that they were in line with our architectural review guidelines. And they wanted to look like they were in the town. And while they had picked up things like the brick sidewalk and the lampposts and things like that, the architecture of the buildings themselves seemed to be, well, not necessarily what we would have expected to be described as, like Haymarket. Definitely like the surrounding, area of Haymarket, but not necessarily what we would like to see in the town. So that feedback was provided because the county planner felt like that was a point that needed to be made. His feedback to me, at least over the phone, was that they do still need they do still have some work to do with the project about the interparcel connectivity and the entrances that we have questions about exactly how much traffic is going to be coming our way versus going east. We've got questions about the traffic impact study, which I didn't get again until the last day before we were closed last week. So I wasn't able to really even read it. But the Planning Commission had asked for it. I've got it and can pass it on. It's rather voluminous. I think overall, I think the density, the traffic, the overall architectural style of the buildings were three things that we thought it'd be nice if you worked on a little more. And also the fact that they were proffering some money for parks and recreation. We have the closest park. They're clearly going to be walking to our park. And so it would be nice if some coordination could happen on that funding. So those were the main points.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. On
Yeah.
that traffic study, when you look at that, or if you have kind of looked at it,
Well,
what about the levels of service? I mean, it's probably pretty bad during the peak periods.
I
and-
have not looked at it to that
Okay.
intent. I've just literally started the narrative and sort of what their assumptions are.
Right.
That's as far as I've gotten into it. It was 12 PDFs, and it was like, I don't remember the size of it, but there was a lot of information
Right.
there.
If I remember right, and maybe Kimberly remembers from her transportation background, I would imagine levels of service D and F. D, E, and F perhaps. I'm not even sure.
Those are unacceptable levels.
Yeah. So I'd be curious to see what that is. And frankly, we have advocated for the roundabout. I know prior council member Matt Caudle was very much in favor of it. And I'm just curious how that's all going to work in that traffic
also
study
curious.
because of the turning movements. I think that's going to be critical too.
We're also
Right.
curious. I mean, the claim that the interparcel connectivity is going to be wide open, to me, is a little questionable because there's a bottleneck behind, I guess it's the Pizza Hut? I mean, what is that? I'm not
Yeah.
sure what that building is that's in the front, but behind there's a very
That's a
narrow
medical
corridor
center.
between parking spots. It's like, okay, so is that going to look like an inviting place for me to go to get to the roundabout? Or am I going to try to say to heck with the roundabout, come out my entrance and
Right.
try to make it in a an area where there's a gap in traffic that would allow that. That was something that we brought up with the county planner. We just weren't exactly sure that those interparcel connectivity, it's like it's a handshake, It's like they're not required because it's not the same ownership, but that's something that they're counting on. It's for people to come out and use that roundabout. When we see essentially 3 entrances, how much are people going to use the roundabout? How much are they going to just try to jut out and get where they're trying to go without using the roundabout?
I'd be curious to see what it says in that report
Yeah,
about that,
that's-
how that operates.
Exactly.
The other question I had was relative to our supervisor, Pete Canlon. And he spoke to us a while ago about this. And I had always thought that the number of units was a lot less than what was presented at the last PC meeting.
It was dense. And like I said, the density is going to trigger capacity on that road.
And so the question for our supervisor, if somebody wants to reach out, is where does he stand on this as well? Because I think he made some input on that study himself and got them to bring it down to a more manageable level of units, and now it's back up to, 215, I think?
Yeah,
which is
it's
considerable.
108 and 107, and that's, it's dense.
And if we can't prevail, perhaps, I like the idea of the park, the proffer for a park, but at the very least, maybe we can get a sidewalk continued across, not just on QBE's property, but the Hanover property. That would be
All the way
nice.
to the park. Well, they're going to use it. Don't tell me they're not going to use it. It's the closest park. It's less than a 5-minute walk from there where they're going to be. I think that's fully reasonable, and so that's what we said.
Councilmember Passanello, in response to Pete Canlon, I did reach out to Pete Canlon and try to set up a meeting between Ms. Kimberly, our town manager, and myself. We exchanged one email, and then he went dark. So I have not heard back from him in regards to an actual meeting date. So
Oh, okay, good. Well, he's at a location to be named later. Okay,
Okay.
very good.
Any further questions for Susanna? All right.
Thank
move-
you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to our Business and Community Relations Report. Ms. Andrews. You're on page 121 also.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a few updates for you this evening. The Town Business Roundtable, which will be, there's a correction on that date. We have it tentatively scheduled for January 25th and a possible backup date of February 1st. That is a Wednesday, and that will be in the morning, approximately 8:30 in the morning.
Isn't January 25th the same day that the thing is happening in Richmond that Joe and I are
It's
seeing?
in the Richmond event is in the late afternoon, so
Okay, okay.
shouldn't conflict
She's a
with his
fast
first
driver.
thing in the morning.
She's a fast driver. She's driving.
Yeah.
You didn't hear that, Chief.
And this meeting is actually going to be a more formal presentation of introducing our town businesses as well as our community to our new town manager, Kimberly Murray, at this date. And the meeting is going to be held actually at 4410, which is owned by Menzie Pittman. He is a town business owner here, CMC, and he is also an integral part in the music portion of Haymarket Day. Also, the Town Association of Northern Virginia Quarterly Meeting, also known as TANV, the town of Haymarket will be hosting that meeting on Wednesday, February 15th. The location still has not been determined for that.
I vote for the museum.
If we can.
You can fit
If
everybody.
we can
Depends on
accommodate,
how many
How many
people.
people.
Right.
Because we can have as much as 25, 30 people. Let's see. Also, I have on the museum, on the Business and Community Relations report this month, the town merchandise sales. We actually had $272 worth of sales of ornaments, T-shirts, sweatshirts over the month of December, which is actually just a little bit less than we did for Haymarket Day. So just by promoting it on the Facebook and website,
Good job.
so next year we know we're going to beat that up.
I really like those T-shirts with the red With the caboose on the
With the
back?
caboose on the back. Yes, those
Gotta
are
get
cute.
more of those.
Little kids' T-shirts, really
Yeah.
cute gifts. Also, I received an email today from Serve Our Willing Warriors. Their biggest fundraiser is actually coming up on February 18th, which is their Monte Carlo night, and it will be from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. at the Regency Clubhouse in Dominion Valley. They are looking for volunteers, so if you want to participate or if you just want to lend your time to this event, it's a great event. Like I said, it's their biggest fundraiser, and they are looking for volunteers and participants to come out.
And they do a great silent auction.
Yes, and last year we did participate in that, and we intend to participate again in the silent auction.
There'll be a nice flag there, too.
Okay. Any questions from council?
Just one. When does our farmers market start back up?
It will start back up in April, and I'm actually working with a woman named Osalana with the Department of Health, Department of Virginia Health. She is a health educator with them, and she would like for our farmers market vendors to participate in SNAP. And SNAP is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. A lot of farmers markets offer that, and I believe that's something that we do not offer. So I'd like to discuss that with our farmer market vendors to see if that's something that they're interested in
Amazing.
pursuing as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Denise.
Did we take the sign down? Is the sign still up?
I don't think the sign is down yet. We need some.
I think Mr. Morris
I
wants to
think he
take
just
it.
Yes.
volunteered. I heard that, right?
You volunteer to take down the
Shaking
sign.
his head, yes.
We'll talk about probably getting something more permanent, just instead of
Yes.
driving it in the ground, just having holes in the ground where we can easily
Nice
put it in.
black.
Yes, that would be nice. Okay.
Any other comments, questions? All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, next item. Ms. Murray.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Sir, before you move to Ms. Maury, there's an inspection report from Joe Barbeau.
Oh, yeah.
Ms. Murray, can I ask you if there's a reason why this is not in the spreadsheet format?
This report, Joe Barbeau.
We received the building officials' report after the packet had already got sent out on the end of the day Thursday. We received it Friday morning. I don't know why it was not in the spreadsheet format. He had been sent that report format, and we asked him to provide it.
That's been 2 months now?
Correct.
So, Mr. Mayor, it's been 2 months and this report is not in the standard format.
I can communicate that to him again. Like I said, we received it well after the deadline. Other director reports were in already. I did receive a call from him today.
I received a call as well, left a voice message that he wasn't able to attend tonight, that he was severely under the weather.
I got a phone call, too, but I did talk to him.
Oh.
A Red Sox and a Yankee fan talking to each other.
Oh, there you go.
Amazing. Yeah. Actually, he had a little bit of a problem with his surgery today, and he's going to the doctor tomorrow. He wanted to apologize to the council for not being here. Whether that had any bearing on his report, I don't know. But he was certainly having a little bit of an issue, so.
We'll make
I
sure.
just wanted to be noted it's been 2 months.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Yep. I was going to say, if you want to sit there and have your report, yeah. Since you have a mic, yeah.
Is it working?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
just bring it a little closer to you. That probably.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Some of the things you've been updated already tonight, so I won't repeat some of those items. Later on in the agenda, we've got an update on the Virginia Railway Express. I will say that I did send a letter back in the middle of December to the Operations Board, and then I copied also the Board of Supervisors, Prince William County, expressing the town's support of continuing the study and supporting the full analysis of increased service alternatives that include the expansion of the storage facility and relocation of Broad Run. I understand that item was tabled at that point in time on that meeting, so we'll follow that and keep you posted on that. We've already updated you on the TANV meeting we're going to host February 15th. We've got a couple locations we're sorting out, and we'll get in touch with the town of Leesburg manager who is overseeing this year's event. We encourage you all to put it on your calendar and attend. now get it on your calendar. It'll be held at the lunchtime hour on that date. I also attended the December Planning Commission meeting. It was important to brief you a little bit on the John Marshall Commons project, expressing our interest in some of the activity there related to transportation, and what you've already talked about the 3 access points and some of the turning movements we've expressed concern about. The engineers repeatedly expressed concern about the roundabout. We don't have access to the property that the roundabout is next to. It's privately owned. It's not in the hands of the developer. Developer owns the land on either side of it. Also, the turning movements to the west, closest to us, it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to make a left hand out of the complex. So folks are going to be right-handing it, trying to do a U-turn somewhere in our town, because there won't be a roundabout for them to do that. So those are 2 points that are really important to us. We understand from that meeting also that the developer said they didn't incorporate in the traffic analysis additional development happening at the fairgrounds down the road and adding that to the analysis. So we want to look at their study and just verify that they didn't. We feel that that's going to add additional capacity that they should be aware of. And then the discussion that Susanna already mentioned about being near to our park and talking about having further conversations about that, since folks are going to use that as an amenity that is owned by the town. It's open to everybody, and we're going to see how we can make that happen there as we're looking for funding to make all those improvements to the park. So council can decide down the road in the next month or so if you'd like to provide comments as well to the Planning Commission during this process, or just continue to allow the Planning Commission staff to address these, but we want to make you aware of that. I've also been working with Darren Coffey, our planning consultant, on the zoning ordinance revisions, and I'll be reviewing the ordinance as well and getting comments. VML Day at the Capitol is scheduled for January 25th. I have 2 counselors that are planning to attend, and I'm going to catch me afterwards if you've been able to free up your calendar, and I'll get everybody registered for that. It's an exciting opportunity to meet with your local legislators. The governor is also going to do the keynote address, and it's a good networking experience, too, to meet with your fellow elected officials. We did not receive any FOIA requests this month, so it's a quiet month. We're happy about that, particularly since we're short-staffed. Sometimes it can take a little bit of staff time to pull those together. Already updated you on the building inspector report. I did meet with all the police officers the middle of December at one time just to go over some human resource questions that they had, introduce myself to everybody, and make sure that I can be a resource to them as they continue their work and transition with Chief Lands. Chief Lands and I have met several times, been in communication quite a bit, and we'll work cooperatively and collaboratively on all kinds of future endeavors. We've got lots of conversations going already about things for our staff and for the community. So we're both really excited about that. Also, I've interviewed several candidates for the clerk-treasurer position. I will continue to keep you updated as we move forward, hoping to find the right candidate for the position for this important job. We did start, we do have a temp in for the next couple of weeks. We're continuing to work with IT to make upgrades, and I'm also coordinating with our winter contractor for upcoming storms. Of course, the first one is always the one where we're immediately in contact, frantically, making sure that we take care of our sidewalks and driveways and all. So now let me move on to the treasurer report, which is attached for you. The Finance Committee, I will say we met late this month on the 28th. Well, let me start at the beginning. As you know, tax payments were due on December 5th. We've got almost all of our payments in. There's just a tiny bit of funds left to collect, just a few $1,000s. So we'll let you know how that goes. Our interim treasurer will contact property owners. Some of it is also due to, just over receiving too much or too little or whatever when folks have escrow payments, that sort of thing, just sorting things out with the banks. So it's those kind of things. We're working out, one of our restaurants, Hidden Jewels, has been behind on meals tax submissions. we're working with them to get them all caught up, and in January we hope to be completely caught up. So we are very pleased that they've worked with us to correct this. They're an important restaurant in our community, and I've reached out to them on any additional resources that they may need to continue to be successful here in Haymarket. And then I'm also going to be starting on the 18 budget planning. I know I'm a tiny bit behind, but I'm not worried. We're going to catch right up. We're going to be working with our accountant to get started on some of the reports and analysis, and I'll be coordinating that with our finance committee, and I'm going to be working with our department heads in the next couple of weeks. So the finance committee met on the 28th. Steve Mulroy from BML Vaco, who I believe met with you earlier in the summer, or one of the folks that he works with on the finance fixed rate loan program, he's going to come back to the finance meeting on the 18th. He's coming to meet with me just to talk about his program and some ideas, and we figured it's a good opportunity to meet with the finance committee as well. They pulled together the best rates and programs from all the banks in the state, and have worked successfully with many communities. So we're just going to make sure we have all the information on their program that we can before we move forward. And like I said, the committee's going to do a mid-year review at that point in time. We wanted to wait until we got more of the meals taxes in, which won't be in until the middle of January, so it didn't make sense until we received some more revenues. And also, we learned that they can update our credit benchmark report now that they've got the audit, the financial reports for ending June of this year. And let me just briefly answer any questions about the financial statements that I've handed out to you. Well, Councilor Passanello mentioned that we had a deficit of approximately $52,000. I would like to note that that is just one point in time through the end of November. It does not include revenues that come in later on in the year that we will see in sort of 100% coming in. For example, bank revenues, some sales tax, some meals tax, things like that. So I would just caution that, we don't receive revenues every single month in a timely manner that allows you to compare, apples to apples on a monthly basis. We will, however, keep our eyes on our projections for sales tax and meals tax and all the rest to make sure that those that do come in on a monthly basis are on target or continue to make adjustments. So we may come back to you with a mid-year correction as things move forward as well. I can answer any specific questions you may have.
Okay. Vice Mayor.
Okay, so getting back to that roundabout, you were talking about private property, right?
The private property.
So is that going to require eminent domain? Do we know? And what could that do to their schedule, I wonder?
Well, right now they've stubbed connections, internal connections with the proposed residential development and the existing commercial development. It's kind of sandwiched in, and they're just showing right now on the plans just an entrance at the roundabout into the commercial development. So one of my questions and that hall area engineer will also be reporting on is what kind of communication is happening with the property owners in there, and are we going to have appropriate connections that are going to make good turning movements and good transfer of internal and up to the roadway. So I don't think that's been answered to our satisfaction yet.
As far as VRE, I think you were right. They did push that off a decision. As a matter of fact, I was heading down to the meeting, and I got a call by Supervisor Lawson to not bother because they were pulling it from the agenda. I think they realized it was premature to try to pull out of the project, way premature. But they are going to be meeting, I was told, sometime in the next few weeks, getting a working group together to try to figure out what their recommendation is going to be from the county side. You sent ours, which is great, so they know where the town stands. So, one other thing, I did notice that I think it's this weekend, if I'm not mistaken, there was going to be a public hearing at the McCourt Building, the county, for a legislative agenda.
Yeah, that's correct. It's going to be open to the public to come and to speak about legislative priorities that individuals or groups want to speak to their elected officials, and you can go online and you can sign up to speak. So you can make sure you're heard, and you can also show up and then speak after everyone else has signed up, and that's for a couple hours on Saturday.
Right.
So we encourage anybody with a priority that we want to make sure our elected officials hear about that before the session begins.
Might be something someone might want to attend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I just have one point. Kimberly, thank you for the report. Item 2 under finance, just probably making a suggestion here, if it's best to leave the name out in the report, and if any council members who may want that information can request it, or
It is public information if someone is behind on their meals tax. We are not allowed to indicate the amount that they're behind. While we don't want to advertise that they're struggling, on the other hand, we want to share that we're there to help them succeed in a business here in Haymarket, and it has been of important note to council, and others have brought it to our attention.
I'm just wondering, though, because what I get from this sentence is you have been working with them,
That's correct.
and there's a resolution. You guys are getting to a resolution hopefully by mid-January. But just to ensure that the business's name is not tarnished in any way, being on a report, if it's possible to leave the name off. And when it gets to a certain stage that you can determine, when it gets to a place where it's actually delinquent, then you can insert the name, maybe to draw more force.
It's delinquent, sir.
Yeah, but it's delinquent, but it's being addressed to solve it by mid-January.
Well,
It's not the first time.
yeah, this has been work in progress, and as the attorney says, as long as we're not mentioning the amount, the fact that we name the business, I understand the concern, but I think we're also trying to collect the taxes that were paid. So I don't know, Karen, if you have anything further to add to it.
I really don't. Ms. Murray discussed this with Martin before, and exactly what you said. He advised, not that you don't want to state the amount, but there's certainly no legal prohibition.
And I don't think I don't think my point is necessarily legal. I don't think it's legal. I think it's protecting the business that's inside of town while we're working with them. So I can understand if it was another business that we have no communication with, and then we have litigation, and we could do that. But with a company that we're working with, and we're actually getting to a place where there is a resolution by mid-January, I just think it would be sensitive on our part to leave the name off until such a time when they may, it becomes, when there's no resolution.
I think, Counselor, one of the reasons I mentioned it this time is because they have been delinquent for several months with no communication with us, and it kept being, folks kept asking about it, and so after some communication, they did finally come in and talk with us. So enough folks had asked about it that we felt that we needed to mention at this point. There are some, like there's one restaurant that is delinquent this month, but I'm not mentioning it because I'm hoping they'll get current next month and it won't be a problem. And sometimes folks just forget or whatever, things happen. So I understand your sensitivity. And if the council would like us not to in the future, that's fine too.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
just
think
have one vote. But I just think on the point of sensitivity to a business that is still operational in the town.
Yeah, there is a lot of background, offline that me and Kimberly would be glad to share with you. But, okay.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you.
Further comments, thoughts? Okay, so we're moving along here. Our next items are agenda items. Obviously, we've taken care of 7A, 7B. 7C, we're going to pull from tonight's agenda because Marchant's not able to be here. We'll go to 7D, Dominion Virginia Power update. Trying to think if there's anything since our last meeting.
I have not heard anything further. I don't know if the counselor heard something, but I have not heard any further update.
Yeah. Vice Mayor, any,
The only thing I've heard is that there's some discussion about doing a rally. I'm not sure where that stands. I spoke with Supervisor Lawson about a week ago. Nothing new, I don't believe, on the docket, unless Connor has something. Go ahead. No? Okay. No, I have nothing else to share at this time. We got our professional briefing at Citizens Time last month, so.
yep. All right, moving along to VRE, I think we've kind of spoke a little bit about that. Nothing further on that. We spoke already about our TANV meeting. One thing I did want to update, some good news. I got an email from Bill King. He's the business development manager for Verizon Fios. Yeah. Yeah. So we're getting him some statistics of each of the communities and how many homes are in it, and we're hoping to breathe some life back into this.
Can I
this
ask,
thing.
did he reach out to you, or did you reach out to him?
He actually reached out. We had spoke before, and he was following up on previous conversations. So, yeah.
Did he mention anything about what we were told a few years back, that there's no budget for new?
Oh, absolutely. I went through all the debriefing of all the history we had with it, how it kind of unraveled in the beginning, and how it went dormant, and then no funding, even to the fact that, we had a citizen that wrote to all the board of directors at Verizon to try to put some life back into it.
Whether or not there is funding now?
He's looking at it positively.
Okay.
Yep.
Survey, they're doing a survey. See who can
Survey.
afford it.
Or trolling.
I have a quick question about the TANV meeting. If we have that many people, where are we going to put them? Where are we going to host it?
Some thoughts were from reaching out to Giuseppe's. They have, of course, a meeting hall.
No, that's not
We've-
available anymore.
Yeah, we
He's
did
broken
reach
it up
out.
into office space.
The front?
Yep.
The meeting space he had available is no longer.
Yeah,
No,
in the
yeah.
middle,
But what about the front? Like the
front sanctuary, the one that
Can you-
church uses.
Yeah, because that's where we had our, we did the silent auction and dinner, right? Yep.
Mm-hmm. The church.
Okay.
Yeah.
At lunchtime?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering, because I'm trying to think of ways.
I guess we'll have to see what the RSVPs are.
Right.
We'll pack
How
them
many
in the
did we
basement.
have in Roll
We
Hill?
need some more restaurants
typically-
in town with more meeting space.
Actually, I was say Denise and Kimberly's probably been the last ones, but, anywhere from 20 to 30-ish can
I
attend.
went to
at
the
some of these.
Middleburg one, there was a dozen.
Yep. So we can be
Okay.
Depends. Yeah.
nice week.
Okay.
Maybe get a cookies and cream to open up.
Yeah, there you go.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's actually not a bad
Office
idea.
space, though.
Yeah.
This way you can promote a business in town. That's
That's right.
exactly
That's-
what we did in Middleburg. That's
Right.
right, that's where they held it, at that restaurant upstairs.
Or you could check Cupcake Heaven. I know some people there.
Yeah. Okay. That does it for our items there. I don't know if we want to go ahead and do our council member time to save time,
That's a
or we
great
still
idea.
have a listening audience here
That's a great
instead of
idea.
afterwards. So we'll reach out to Councilwoman Edwards first.
Says John's first.
I got, sorry.
You missed it.
You know what? you're right. Councilman Cole, my apologies. I flipped the page too early.
No, I just want to say that we've got high hopes for the new year. We've had a very busy fall and a very busy winter, and now we're kind of getting down to, getting the staff settled, and, we've got a new police chief, we've got a lot of new staff. And so I just want to admonish the council and townspeople to understand that and give us a little room, and we're going to be grinding into it and getting some hard work done in the next 3 months. So we just look forward to it. It's going to be a good year.
Absolutely. Councilwoman Edwards.
I have nothing more than Mr. Cole said. I concur.
Councilmember Aiken.
Two quick things here. First one is, I just want to say thank you to Corey for your service. Sorry that you were injured on duty, but we're happy that it wasn't worse. That it's dangerous out there, and we appreciate what you do. Second thing is, just to echo what Joe said, while we are doing the mid-year review on the budget, and while we're not exactly sure what the deficit is, in my estimation, there is a deficit. We're trying to bound that and figure out what that is. So once we have time to do the mid-year and come back to you, we're going to have to look at some hard choices on cutting back in some area or another to try to balance our budget for the year. So just a fair warning there.
Okay. All right. Councilman Morse.
Thank you, sir. Happy New Year. The two items I have really has to do with something that John just mentioned. I'm excited about the new year because of us having a competent town manager and an experienced chief of police. I'm really excited, the direction that these two individuals, coupled with the rest of our staff and our police department, the direction that they're going to take us. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Councilman Leak. Excuse me, Vice Mayor Passanello.
Oh, okay. I'll just piggyback on what Steve said. In that vein, we'll meet as the Finance Committee, and as Steve as our new chairman. Thank you, Steve. I think we should have a work session, a budget work session going forward. I think that's going to take a bunch of heads to get together and figure out how we're going to really get our pencils sharp and get our erasers out. And
do you recommend that after?
I think
the
right after the.
meeting?
Oh, we should have like
Yeah.
later than that, probably no earlier in February.
I mean, because we're facing some issues this year, of course, but then it's next year as well. And next year, we're concerned about the bank stock tax and a few other things. Now, I'm not trying to put water on the whole thing here and drown us, but we have some concern, and we have to be prepared to make some hard decisions. I'll agree with Steve on that. The other thing I wanted to say is the charter. We started to visit that last year, and we kind of pushed that to the side. I'm not sure whether there's an appetite to take that on. There's so much turnover and so much new blood here, but it might be a good opportunity since we have a lot of new blood. Maybe we might want to take another stab at that. I don't know. Just something to kind of mull over in our heads. One of the things I was thinking about was this vice mayor position. And while it's an honorable thing, and I appreciate everybody voting for me on the last time, I'm thinking maybe we should consider doing that annually rather than every 2 years. We need to get folks, I think, members of the council involved. The county does it at their board level. Maybe that would be something we could consider doing going forward and make that an annual thing that we do. So we have new blood, possibly to take the seat if the mayor's out sick or whatever, to lead us. So that was just something I was thinking about. And also revisit the election cycle, whether in fact we want to do that or not, for sure. I mean, that was left out in the open 3-4 years ago, and we've never really circled back on that issue. So those are my only comments for tonight.
Okay.
Happy New Year, everybody. Great.
Councilman Leak.
Chief Lands, welcome. Ms. Murray, keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate all your hard work. Mr. O'Neill, thank you for your service. Sorry that you did get injured, but we are glad you're okay. I'm interested in seeing that body camera video. Divergent Diamond, as we all know, we had unexpected weather on that last time around, but it is supposed to be opening this coming weekend, the 7th, during our next snowstorm, so I'm sure it'll get pushed again. Yeah. And it is being pushed? Understood. Okay, so VDOT details got canceled, meaning that it most likely will get pushed again until later on. But Yeah, exactly. And then the construction in regards to Washington Street and the 5515 interchange is scheduled, obviously weather permitting, to begin, I believe, the end of January, as Ms. Holly had in her report. So with that being, it will be an increase of traffic, so everyone be driving safe, watching your speed, watching your distance. No other.
And watching the officers.
Yeah.
That's right.
No other
Okay.
comments.
I have nothing further. I think everybody's kind of covered everything. I could have Ms. Cohen call us into executive session.
I move that council convene in closed session for consultation with legal counsel or briefing by staff or consultants about the pending cases of Blue Sky Events LLC versus Town of Haymarket and Town of Haymarket versus Contrusi, as consultation or briefing in open meeting would adversely affect the town's negotiating or litigating posture, and the Virginia Freedom of Information Act at Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711, paragraph A7 permits such discussion in closed session, and the council convene in closed session for consultation with legal counsel or briefing by staff or consultants about probable litigation involving a contract for services to the town, as consultation or briefing in open meeting would adversely affect the town's negotiating or litigating posture, and the Virginia Freedom of Information Act at Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711, paragraph A7 permits such discussion in closed session.
So moved.
Second.
So moved by Edwards, seconded by Vice Mayor. Discussion on the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion unanimous. Okay. Go ahead and bring us back into open session.
I move that the council certify that in the closed session just concluded, nothing was discussed except the matters specifically identified in the motion to convene in closed session and lawfully permitted to be discussed under the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act cited in that motion, and further move to direct legal counsel to proceed as discussed in regards to the probable litigation and pending cases as discussed in closed session.
So moved.
Seconded by Councilman Aiken. Discussion on the motion. And we realize we're not only coming out, but we're agreeing to the second part, right? Yes. Yeah, since we, well, no, since we read it that way. Okay, so go ahead and a roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Aye.
Yes.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
there you go. And seconded by Leek. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you all. I know.